Olya Sonica es una artista de California que debutó en la industria musical a finales de octubre de 2022 con la publicación del sencillo High on Life. Posteriormente se realizaría un video de este sencillo y este video sería utilizado para realizar anuncios en Instagram, tanto en formato de historias como en formato de reels. Fue gracias a estos anuncios que logré conocer a Olya Sonica, conocí su música y he estado siguiendo su trayectoria. El día de hoy es un día especial dentro de la carrera de Olya Sonica, debido a que hace unas horas se publicó lo que viene siendo su primer álbum, que recopila todos los sencillos que ha estado publicando desde octubre de 2022. Y no solo eso, también presenta nuevos temas. Y el día de hoy tuve la oportunidad de entrevistar a Olya Sonica. A continuación les mostraré la entrevista que tuve con esta artista, entrevista donde me permitió saber un poco más sobre ella, sobre sus orígenes y sobre las influencias que tuvo para la creación de este álbum. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am so nervous because my English is not perfect, but I am excited for talk with you.
Yeah, no, your English is good. Don't worry about it.
I'm really excited about this interview because I have listening to your music for the past 2 years, and when I heard you were releasing a new album, I got even more excited. Now, being able to interview you on the very day your album drops me, it's even more special for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's special for me too, honestly. I'm really happy that we're doing it.
Are you ready to start the interview?
Yeah, you're gonna film it?
Yeah. How did you first get into music? Tell me about how your passion for rock started.
Okay. Got into music. When I started playing piano, I learned classical music at first when I was like 5 years old. And then playing all the classical pieces and stuff like that, I started getting into more of, like blues and rock and R&B and soul. And I just developed my love for it. And kind of like growing up in Moscow, Russia, it wasn't like an easy access. So I had to, search for things. And I would go and to this place, the market, where I would go like to bins of CDs, and I would just pick CDs that I really liked. I mean, like even like the cover or whatever. Some of them I didn't know, but I would just like go through this music and discover, all the bands and stuff. And then like real moment for me was when I went to Rock Club in Moscow, and actually. There was this band that was doing a cover of the song by Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger. And I just was like, this is what I want to do.
Oasis is your favorite band?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely my favorite band. I just, I love the larger than life feeling that it's just when I listen to their songs, it's just I feel like a rock star, just by listening to their songs. It's that, not, I don't know any other band that gives me that feeling of like, it's so empowering, and it's also, I don't know, a lot of their songs are about, being together and doing things together, like we need each other, we believe in one another, and all those things like that. And I believe in that too. Yeah, so I just love their lyrics and their music and rock and roll.
In addition to Oasis, Which artists or bands have had the biggest influence on your music? How do you think those influences have shaped your style as a singer?
Yeah. Um, so I mean, there's so many different bands and artists that I like, but I'll just name a few. I'm definitely um, into the like glam rock era, like David Bowie and T-Rex are really big influences and inspirations of mine. I just love the world that they create with the visual aspect of it and their music and the eras that they gone through and how they changed and how it shaped their music as well. Then I'm definitely, I lived in New York and on the Lower East Side, so I love New York punk rock and Blondie is one of my favorite bands. I also love great pop like Suede and The Verb and Pulse and Laura and all that stuff. Um, yeah, Garbage,
Mhm.
Charlie Manson, and yeah, and there's a lot of like soul stuff that I really love, like Otis Redding and Sam Cooke, and I love Stevie Wonder. So it's kind of just like just this, like all this like kaleidoscope of all of these different musicians and artists and sounds. It's kind of I feed from all of that. So I can say, I mean, rock and roll is definitely like my favorite genre of music, but there's a lot of different genres that I listen to as well.
The last week I saw your T-Rex cover, and that's so great.
Thank you so much. This was such a fun thing to do. We did the first official T-Rex tribute in Los Angeles, and I got to, be on stage with Roland Bowen, like Mark Bowen's son, and Gloria Jones, the Gloria Jones, who toured and sang with Mark and was his partner, and it was a dream come true to just be part of that whole thing, to perform, and yeah, it's very cool.
Uh,
Thank you for checking it out.
yeah. Uh, about your name, what is the meaning behind your stage name, Olya Sonica? How did it come about, and what does it represent for you?
Yeah, so that's a cool question. Well, Olya is my, my name that my parents gave me, and actually it means saint, which I can be sometimes. But Sonica is um, it's it's a representation. It's interesting because sonic phonics. Like I always love that word, and it's about sounds and like music and stuff like that. In Russian language, when you add a at the end of a word, a lot of times it means it's female. So to me, it's like the meaning behind this is it's sort of like female sound, but not. It's like it's part of it. It's part of like music being this is created by a woman. So yeah.
That's great. And very interesting. Uh, how do you feel you have evolved as an artist since releasing your first single, High on Life?
Yeah. And honestly, it's such a journey to like yeah, it's been like a couple of years now. Um, I've I've released that single, and I was still going to the studio working all the other songs, and I feel like the more I was uh, I was kind of getting to know myself as an artist with every song that we were recording. So every time we would pull different influences and just like create, like it was shaping me as an artist and as a person. So I think now it's really cool to actually have an album out in the world because it's like a body of work of all the different, like um, times and stages of who I am. And with every song, like I feel like I don't know, grown as an artist. It's kind of a fascinating thing because you think you go in the studio and you get together with people and you think this is how it's gonna be, but it always there's some magic happens and things like go different ways, and so at the end of it you always get kind of like more than you expect, you know.
Mhm. Uh, you just released your new album today. How well you describe the concept behind this project? Is there a recurring theme or a history you want to tell throughout the songs?
Okay, so to me, alchemy is like taking something, um, you know, something painful and creating beauty out of it. It's this process of like, there's the interesting part about it is there's no light without the darkness. So
Mhm.
it's like integrating shadow and light and like creating from it, from like the good and the bad. So with this record, I had gone through some crazy personal experiences and years back, and I wanted to make this record kind of to turn things around. Instead of like hanging on to painful memories or something like that, just create songs out of them that are cathartic and that feel like you're connected to your heart. So that was kind of the concept behind this record.
What is the meaning behind the album cover? Is there any symbolism or a particular story behind it?
Yeah, so the album cover is very special to me because it was shot by Michael Spencer Jones, and Michael Spencer Jones is responsible for the first three Oasis
Mhm.
covers of their albums, and also the Verve Urban Hymns, which is one of my favorite records. So him and I started talking on Instagram about his book, and then he listened to High on Life,
Uh-huh.
and he really loved it, and he was like, "Let's shoot sometime." And I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh my god, this is great!" Like my favorite records were, the
Mhm.
photographer who did the covers for them. So when the cover for my first record, it was an absolute honor and an amazing thing that happened to me. So I flew to England and we talked about the concept and doing stuff, but it was kind of loose. So we just like we hung out all day and we just took different photos and we created um, on the spot. So I think
So,
that there was no particular message behind the album cover, but it's to me, it's when I look at it, and we talked like he called me one night, and we were talking like on the phone, and he was like, "This it feels like it's almost like there's some kind of premonition, and there's some energy that that is in that picture. Is It's like there's definitely some tumultuous stuff, but it feels like everything's gonna be all right. So it feels like hope that cover. So yeah."
uh, what uh, what was the most challenging part of the album's creation and recording process, from the lyrics to the production? Was there any part that was especially difficult?
Um, No, to be honest, it wasn't. It was all labor of love. Like the
Mhm.
difficult sometimes because I was flying to New York to do this recording because we recorded tracked the whole album
Mhm.
in this Brooklyn studio called Tik Sound that my producer and dear friend Ben Rice, who produced this record and played
Mhm.
guitar on it, he built that studio from scratch, and it's an amazing place. It has very special energy. And so the most difficult part was the logistics for me to like, coming back from LA,
Mhm.
flying, the musicians in and stuff like that. But the creation itself, it was always, just we had this flow happening, and things. The first time we got in the studio, when I called Ben and I was like, I'm thinking about making an album. Like here's like a couple of songs that I wrote and stuff, and I told him, the inspiration behind it. I just watched the documentary about Oasis playing Network, and I was on my ride home, and High on Life just came to me, and I wrote it like in 2 minutes, and I told all of that to Ben, and Ben, weirdly enough, was in Spain at the time, recording with the producer who did Bittersweet Symphony by the Verb, and then also interesting that it was in the town where there's this book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and it starts in that same town where he was, which is again kind of like full circle, the alchemy, alchemist and all of that. So anyway, so we just hit it off, and we're like, okay, like let's do this. So let's move to New York, and I asked my friend and a great bass player, Kevin Jones, to come on board, and Ben brought his drummer Greg, and we got in a room, and from the first chord we started playing High on Life. Never played together before, and it was just that, it was just this natural. Yeah, like all looked at each other, and we're like, "Huh, this is working." Okay. So that was it.
Do you have a favorite song on the album? If so, why does that song hold a special meaning for you?
It's really hard for me. It's like I don't want to sound corny, but it's like all your babies. Like how do you face it? But it's kind of like that. But it's also, some songs like capture my attention at particular moments in time more so than the others. And right now, it's Let Me In. It's this track that is kind of ethereal and has a little witchy vibe to it, but it's a very personal song to me. It's about kind of like letting go and of things that you thought were like defined you as a person, and yeah, right now it kind of like resonates with me at this moment in time. And it's also kind of interesting thing because when you put out a record, it's out in the world because you kind of letting go of, because keep working on stuff and then keep putting things together. So it's like putting out the record, you're like, you gotta let go of it. So
Uh, do you have a favorite song for play in a concert?
Snap Into My Rock and Roll. It's such a fun song to play. It's like it's a full-on rocker, and I just had someone actually messaging me about it that they also really enjoyed it, and they said that it kind of makes them think of like Manchester and New York punk songs, kind of married together, which I thought was a really good, description of it. So yeah, it's like high energy. It's like you can use a lot of attitude and just go for it. So yeah, super fun.
What do you hope your fans will feel or experience when they listen to the album for the first time?
Thank you for this question too. I just hope that the fans can enjoy the music and resonate with the songs, and I hope it like makes them feel things deeper and just connect with themselves and with their own hearts while listening to the record.
Now that the album is out, what are your immediate plans? Can we expect a tour or anything else on the horizon?
Yeah, so I'm doing an album release show tomorrow in Los Angeles at the Hotel Ziggy with a couple of really great bands, Veronica Bianchi and the Dirty Shirts, and we have like a lot of cool stuff going on. Then I'm gonna do a New York version of the album release show on December 17th at the Bowery Electric, and next year I'm planning to tour around the end of the spring and the summer, but the tour dates are still being worked out, so it's going to be a bit of the East Coast, a bit of the West Coast. I'm also planning to do a couple of shows outside of the US. For now, it's just London is confirmed, but we'll be building more on top of that.
So will we be able to see you in Mexico someday?
Absolutely, I would love to play Mexico. Yeah, like let him hop on. I think Mexican fans like are so warm and so wonderful, and always like it's so nice to connect, and you know, it's just like hearted people, and that love music, and I'm the same way, so I really resonate with you guys.
Uh, that was all. I want to thank you for accepting this interview, especially on such a special day. I am a fan of your music. I have listened to all songs, and having a new album from you makes me really happy. Congratulations on your new album and everything you have accomplished.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, and yeah, you're wonderful, and I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to like watching your YouTube channel and all that stuff, and I'll keep you posted on anything that's happening in my world. So yeah, thank you again so much. It means the world to me, like, and this is really cool to do on the day of my release.
Si te gustó el video, no olvides dejar tu like y tu suscripción en caso de que aún no estés suscrito al canal. En la descripción de este video podrás encontrar mis redes sociales. Asimismo podrás encontrar las redes sociales de Olya Sonica para que la sigas y vayas a escuchar su nuevo álbum. Te recomiendo escuchar su nuevo álbum, es algo genial. También quiero hacer la invitación una vez más a todos aquellos que tienen alguna banda y quieran tener un espacio en este canal a que me envíen mensaje para poder acordar una entrevista con ustedes. Bueno, los veo en el próximo video, ya sea una entrevista, ya sea un documental. Los veo hasta la próxima.